Hey, Brilliant Light Ministry. It's been a few days since the election. Just thought I would share some thoughts, things I've been seeing on the internet, on CNN, so forth and so on why Harris lost. And I just disagreed with most, if not all of it. People I respect as well, whose profession is to analyze these things. But I heard claims of it, that the Democrats lost because of elitism, liberal elitism, looking down on the normal guy or the working class. I'm not sure about that one, because if the normal little guy or working class guy only thinks about their temporary issues, like a couple dollars more on eggs, and so now they're willing to sell the whole country out to white supremacists, I mean, there should be reason to to look down on that, you know. I'm no dummy. I do know that the liberal elite and all that, most of them are just as bad as anyone else. That it's just a cover for their own greed, and they're just more two-faced, you know. But you still have to kind of encourage or support the whole notion of inclusive perspective and tolerance and education, and anybody who is not so medieval in their thinking, you know, whereas God, gun, and country, you know. I'm a believer in God, but their God is not my God. You know, their God is just an oppressive form. So this whole notion of elitism, I'm not sure about that. I mean, you know. Another one was Kamala lost when she didn't distinguish herself from Biden. What would you think if you hired someone as your vice president of your company? You brought him along. Then you turn the keys over to him. Then they turn around and talk about how you ain't nothing. Is that the material or character of a leader of a nation? If she sold Biden out, it would be like, what kind of little wormy snake is this? You know, you don't, no, whatever you're going to say, Biden was cool, period. Move on. I'm going to distinguish myself by just talking and let you know what I bring to the table. But if you bring his name up, I'm going to have his bag. I mean, that's just called character. You don't want no little ratty, little snivelly, little backstabbing snake as a leader of a nation, especially a nation as great as the USA. No. You know what I mean? They're talking about, oh, she lost when she said, said that she, they wanted to have her just talk bad, what I I think they said when she didn't say what she would have done different. She was just saying that at the time, for the information she knew, that Biden did an awesome job. And he did. His job was to stabilize the country from COVID. You can't just solve all the world's problems in a 4-year span. You take on one or two things, man, and you go for it. It's the way that go. That's what it means to be in a democracy. You have so many different, you share power with so many different branches of government and so many different influences. You as a president got just that one good blow. You know, you have that punch. You know what I'm saying? You just have that one good crack, and that's it. That's all you get. And if you get 2 terms, you get 2 cracks, or you just reinforce that first crack, that first punch, it's just all you get. That's just what it means. That's just one of the, Another one is inflation. Inflation. The economy, stupid. I'm a little skeptical about that one as well. I mean, everybody got all them free checks. and minimum wage just went up. So people were racking in that dough. Yeah, things got more expensive, and I can imagine there are families who have large grocery bills and saw it double and triple, and had long commutes and saw gas just not come down. Like, wow. And they were already making more than minimum wage, so that the increase didn't make much of a difference in their bottom line. So I could see you put a couple, two, three of those things together, it could really devastate somebody. I could see that. But for the most part, though, people started racking in money who was making less. And people were cashing in those COVID checks for a long time. To turn around and just say, I'm going to just vote in a crazy man because my bills have increased a bit more, although there's a lot of jobs that are around now and all of that. I'm just not. It's hard for me to buy that, The number one reason nobody wants to talk about the reason why is the MAGA Trump movement. It is the real deal, man. This ain't a joke. They are a real movement. The world has never seen nothing like this before. Millions of white people with one goal: protecting whiteness and white privilege. And that is all it is. And they are collectively determined. They have declared war on this multicultural, liberal, no race type of, no border, no. So you're talking about they're just an opponent that, that's number one. You lose a football game, you can look at your football team and see where your weaknesses are that you lost. But if it was just a high quality opponent, you have to, at some point, they made you lose. They were that good. You could tear yourselves apart. You can turn on each other and switch out coaches and go through all kinds of different things. But if your opponent was, if your opponent won out of a fluke and they were a faulty team, that's something different. Like, man, MAGA's real. MAGA's collective. MAGA's strong. MAGA's organized. MAGA walks as one unit. So, that's number one. So, but as strong as MAGA is, and millions of them that there are, they came to the conclusion they have to peel off a couple of percentage points from our side to win. And they knew that they can peel off, 5, 10, 15%, whatever it was, that they think they would have win. But they knew they had to peel some of our voters. They couldn't go so hardcore. And so the main voters that they peeled off was men. How'd they do that? I believe one of the ways they did that was the bros, they call them. I guess I heard that name called the bros on YouTube. And I'm a big YouTube follower. And man, I was surprised. People, young, men, in their 30s who are bros, who talk like guys, who are guys you like. Guys like me that like, guys I can relate to, good dudes and, righteous dudes, but dudes, They're not into all that, bros, they call them, right? I'm talking about black ones even on the internet that I really got love for. Who I like, it's my brother. This was somebody I can really relate to, somebody who, but black and Hispanic, white, and all that, they was all supporting Trump. It was the most like, it was like, whoa, what is this? So they peeled them off. And that's where the Hispanic vote came from. I'm not certain, I don't know, but I don't know the Hispanic politics and what they were thinking. But the bros, that's one I can speak on because that's what I am. And they just, it was just kind of a remarkable thing. I could tell you that they outreached like to someone like Mike Tyson. You know, they've been propping Mike Tyson up. Mike Tyson is burnt out. Mike Tyson is a bro, but they pump him up at every rally and every show. I mean, we're talking about a dude, his day was in the 90s, 20 years ago. I mean, but I don't think I've been to a rally that they haven't spoke his name. I don't know what kind of pool that name brings to them. What signal? I believe that it must signal to the bros, to the bro community, that this is the man. You know, that he was a great spokesman for the bros, the bro community, and he's a Trump supporter. I mean, we're talking. He's from the '90s, man. He's from when men were men in the hip hop community, before all this P Diddy and all that, and all this and some more stuff. You know, this was. You know, it was Pac, Suge, and Mike Tyson, and, you know, Cube and Short. You know, he's part of the you know, the hip hop masculine community of the '90s, gangster rap, I guess you would call it, but I just call it, you know, straight up dudes. So you got the bros. You know, that was, you know. Maybe you could look at it a little more deeper and see that young men or men in general are failing in compared to young women. And that's, I see that, you can see that in the college graduation rates and in the jobs, and income. You know, I heard I heard somebody say, young men, because of they're not considered suitable mates or suitable marriage material for successful women, and he said that when young men are not suitable mates or don't have a mate, they do porn, vape, and video games, while girls are sitting there getting master's degrees. I thought that was fascinating and interesting. I think it's very true as well. Young men are failing. You can see it everywhere. Just go into a job. You know, you don't see men performing like women. And so since they're a class of people or kind of people that are failing, are falling apart, you can see a resentment. And then, you know, Trump is a resentment candidate. So that'd probably be my best reasoning of why they would get them. But, wow. My community's the bros, and that I just would never have thought, you know. So that's black celebrities been discredited by the scandal of P. Diddy. You know, black celebrity culture is like, who cares if you got one of these nasty, freakish, evil, you know, I don't even know what they are anymore, man. I mean, they don't hold no weight. They don't hold no moral credibility. Puff just exposed all of them. It's just a shame. I can't believe what I'm seeing. And if you know black celebrities, you don't even have to ask about the others, because the black community is based on the church. You know, that's, you know, if you're a black, you've been in church. 95% of the time, you got your roots in church. You got your skills in church. You got your support from church. I mean, that's serious business. So you could just imagine what everybody else doing. So that whole celebrity culture is just. But anyway, the black celebrities in particular, though, was you know, discredited and scandalized. And P. Diddy thing, you know. So. So that when they brought black celebrities on to promote the Harris and her campaign stops and all that, that didn't carry no kind of weight. The cities lost, I think off that, something strange was happening with nonviolent crime, economic crimes. People just seem to have a pass just to break into cars, in particular. There was no stop on that, so then that became some sort of, we need someone tough on crime. I saw it even at the churches, black churches. There'd be some kind of MAGA dude talking about it in several churches I went to. Just some weird. It's just so pitiful, man. It's so predictable. These people are so. Oh, the ground game. That's another thing I know a lot about. I participated in the Democratic ground game. Canvassed and door knocked and all. That's a racket. 75% of the people were MAGA infiltrators. And you spend your whole time working an app, you couldn't even get a chance to talk to the people. And they pressured you to hurry up. It's just a big racket that they're just siphoning money from the Democratic Party to run their little traveling bus trips. It's just nonsense. When I went to Arizona myself, I did the real thing. I went to gas stations, to intersections, and talked to people and encouraged them to vote. So that's my breakdown, y'all. I hope you liked it. Peace.